What is good, YouTube? Warstu here with a video on Logan. So I want to do a Logan video as I haven't really put much Marvel stuff out at all on this channel, and I want to start diversing into some Marvel based videos. So the Logan movie was epic. I know I'm a bit late on this, but I do want to get my views about. Been asked about a few people of what I thought of Logan, so I'm going to put a video out. So amazing movie. There will be spoilers involved in this, so let's get into it. So the whole time whilst watching the Logan movie, I was thinking, where have all the X-Men gone? Have they all just died out? What's happened to them? As it didn't really explain very well to my standard in the movie what actually happened to them. So I did some research and a name kept popping up. It was the Westchester incident kept popping up. Although there were a few comic book kind of stories, one which I found, which was Old Man Logan story by Mark Miller, and it basically said that Wolverine was tricked into massacring all the X-Men. So that's one version, but I think the version that most people are believing is this Westchester incident theory. So the Westchester incident is referring to the X mansion from the comics. Usually appear in the comics, a private mansion owned by Professor X, which is where the School for Young Gifted was based, located in very northeast corner of Westchester County, New York. So from what I can gather, the blame falls on Patrick Stewart, aka Professor X. It seems clear to us that the Westchester incident was the first time that Professor X suffered a seizure, as seen in the film, without Logan there to stop it from happening, which kind of makes sense. Professor X's mental powers hurt or even killed some of their shared loved ones. Logan stays with Professor X out of sense of loyalty and because he may be the only X-Men who could live through Professor X's multiple seizures. So it makes sense. So Charles' seizures cause a sort of psycho blast that ultimately paralyzes everyone within a certain radius. So in order for this to wipe out all the kind of X-Men, there would have to be in the room of the X Mansion where Professor X can actually connect to all the other X-Men. So this leads me to believe, where are all the other X-Men that aren't dead? Because I don't believe that all the X-Men are actually dead. I mean, Professor X within the movie didn't realise that he did this. He must have gotten it until it popped on the radio. And then Logan turned off the radio really quick before we can learn out more about what happened in Westchester, but not before the broadcast actually mentioned the casualties. So that's what's made me look for the Westchester incident, and I think it's a very interesting story. But what happens if some survived and escaped to Eden and are waiting to receive Laura, aka X-23, and the other mutant children in Canada? So what is Eden? For starters, Eden is a real place from the comics, from what I can gather. If I'm wrong, guys, let me know in the comments down below. It appears to be a safe harbor for mutants, or supposedly. So I think the reason why the Westchester incident wasn't really said in this movie is because the X-Men franchise, the Fox guys, could make a spin-off movie exploring what actually happened to the remaining X-Men. And it could also involve the future of X-Men, like X-23, the new Wolverine. It could go like that as a future movie going on. But obviously this movie is set in 2029. So if this was to happen, it would have to be set in the past of the incident and then kind of go on to the kind of future in terms of what's happening with the kind of the new mutants, I guess. But yeah, overall, that's just something that annoyed me. I didn't understand what happened to the Wolverine, the kind of X-Men throughout the movie, but now I kind of got a good grasp of it, I think. So I hope that helps you understand. And my overall feelings of the movie was amazing. As I said, spoiler, I mean, the kind of scene when Wolverine accepted that X-23 was his daughter because they used his DNA. And yeah, the ending was just so emotional. It made me cry. Wolverine is my favorite character over anyone in any TV show. I absolutely love Wolverine. He's the greatest. And I was very sad, but the ending was really fitting for me. It did fit. It made sense. And I overlooked the timeline problem. I mean, it's set in 2029. Professor X shouldn't have been alive. I mean, I really couldn't get over that at first, but it was a really odd kind of story, how Professor X was alive. I mean, if someone in the comments could please explain to me how Professor X was alive, because guys, for me, that makes no sense. And also, how can Wolverine, I know Wolverine can instantly reheal, but was he dying due to these seizures? Were the seizures slowly killing him? Because I don't really understand how he was slowly dying. And I think it was really fitting how essentially the newer version of Wolverine killed him in the movie in some sense. It was really fitting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing where the X-Men franchise goes forward. I'm hoping the movies going forward are actually movies going forward, and it's not a movie like messing up the timeline and kind of going backwards. I really hope they go forwards, as I really do like the X-Men films, but sometimes the timeline's messed up. It reminds me of the Flash TV show when the kind of storyline's really messed up. But this movie was amazing. I know its review's a bit late and it probably won't get many people viewing it. But if you want to let me know your comments, I mean, did I explain Eden properly? Did I explain the Westchester incident? And also, I did read something, like I said at the start, where a story by Mark Miller, a similar kind of incident, but Wolverine was tricked into massacring all the X-Men. So I think that was interesting. And I really love it how they kind of use comic book storylines. I mean, I don't know if it's true, but I read that they kind of made some comics or altered some front covers of the comics just to use. There were some scenes with the comic books in the movie. I read that they were made or edited just for the movie, which is pretty cool. But I didn't like it how Wolverine slammed the comics and said they were lies and it wasn't really true and that it was fantasy and so or something like. I can't remember exactly what he said, but overall, amazing movie. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. I want to start doing more movie based reviews, but this is just a theory, and like, because I know I've read a fair few Marvel comics and I didn't know what happened to the X-Men, so I literally was just someone wanted to find out what happened to the X-Men, as I felt like the explanation given in the movie wasn't good enough. But maybe that was because they're planning to make a different movie explaining in more depth. But guys, let me know what you think about these kind of videos. Do you want me to do more videos like this? I couldn't find any other really kind of videos that kind of thoroughly explained what happened to my liking, so I decided to make one. I'm going to try and do more Marvel-based stuff. I've got an Iron Fist review, stroke explaining the ending coming up in the next couple of days, or maybe even today. Depends if I get it out in time. So like always, guys, please like, subscribe, and comment if you want to, and also if you're new. And I'll catch you in another video, guys. Peace out. I just want to say thank you for all the support and new subscribers. Very much appreciate all the love I've been getting. Anyway, guys, peace out.